We're talking about sexuality, and we're going to start off by saying that there is no sex education in China. Been on the road now for a long time.
That's a great intro. Why do you keep starting when I don't know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Why has this become a thing?
Because this is one of those days. It's just one of those days.
What are you, the Limp Bizkit fan?
No, I'm not. But anyway, we're going to be talking about... we're going to be talking about a topic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Some of our best ones come when we didn't plan.
Very true.
By the way, can you show the scenery?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Simo, by the way, it's your turn to just think of a sporadic topic. So, yeah, you got something for us there, boy?
Well, actually...
Yeah. While I look at this landscape, you can think about it.
This reminds me of something.
Which is what?
These mountains remind me of certain anatomy.
Really? Like what kind of anatomy?
I don't know, like knees or something.
Knees? What does that even have to do with anything?
It has to do with human sexuality and the perception of sexuality and sex ed within China.
Ah, it's a good topic.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit it then.
Oh, by the way, look, check out my solution. It's the last, I almost said final solution. The last solution to my problem of my burned knee. So basically I tuck these in here.
Yeah.
And they fly up sometimes, so I have to keep my knees like this together, and it's pretty rough.
I actually have proper biker boots and stuff, you know, not like you just
I have those
skate
things.
shoes and...
I have those things.
All right.
You know I have those things, but I didn't prepare very well. However, we are in a beautiful bamboo. Look at the shoots coming up. See the little shoots?
You call those bamboo?
The bamboo shoots?
Yeah, I know.
Those are the ones you eat. I don't know why I'm talking about this. However, it is gorgeous here. We're on the way to Yilan.
You know those aren't bamboo.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Oh, they're bananas. Why'd you call me out like that?
Look at these beautiful banana trees. Yeah. Okay, let's hit the road then, shall we?
Okay, why don't film me all the time?
Okay, I'll film myself. Let's go.
All right. Broom, broom. Oh shit. Whoa. Dude, don't drop your bike in the gutter. Are you rolling?
I am currently rolling.
Okay, I'm gonna set up my dress real quick.
Okay. You got something to address over there, do you?
Yeah. Are we clean in the back? Yes, we are. I'm not used to having mirrors.
A mirror. Stop saying
correcting me. That's just an accent. I could make fun of yours too.
Yeah, you could, but I don't say mirror like you're merely, you know. Anyway, whatever.
We've argued about that way too many times, and I don't think the way you say it is wrong. So you're not allowed to think that about me.
Okay, whatever. I still think you don't say mirror properly. Anyway.
Mirror.
Mirror. Anyway, mirror.
Like frankincense and myrrh. That's you.
Yeah. We are getting off topic because we're talking about sexuality, and we're going to start off by saying that there is no sex education in China.
Yeah, there was an experimental thing for a while in like Beijing schools, and then I think they trashed it because I haven't heard anything since. And it's really, really funny. And let me give you a little anecdote.
Yeah.
When Vivi was in school, she said, and I'm not joking, that until she was like 12, she didn't know that boys and girls like had different parts, right?
Okay.
And she didn't know how to, like, what sex was. Like, she knew there was something called sex, but she didn't know how it worked, like intercourse, how it worked until she was like 18.
Okay.
Which I find fascinating because it's like stuff you learn at school and like biology and stuff.
Yeah.
And that is, I don't know if I should have an opinion about that, but I think it's crazy.
Oh no, sure. I think it's dangerous because, you know, without the right amount of sex education, mistakes happen. You know, because we're freaking biologically wired to figure it out ourselves, right? But then, you know, what happens if you just suddenly become pregnant because you don't know that that's what sex is?
Right, and that is one of the causes of China's huge abortion rate.
Yeah.
Like per capita. I'm not talking about like how, because there's a lot of people there, right? Of course, but I'm talking about like how many abortions people have. Chinese women have a lot of abortions.
I have to say that they are too casual about it, and it's probably because they have no religion.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
It's part of it, and it's too swabian. It's too casual.
It's too easy to do it.
All the bloody girlfriends I've had, Chinese girlfriends I've had, have had abortions.
Yeah.
Like all of them.
Right.
You know.
Right.
bar none.
Right.
Because it's just something you do. Because oops, that was a mistake. Oh, you know.
Right.
I'm not married, because you can't have a kid if you're not married in China.
And it's not even a thought process. Like they're not like, man, should we really do this? You know?
Yeah. You know, all that kind of nonsense. So I mean, the thing is, abortions are massive in China. There's some like everyone has them. They're having them left and right, you know, day and night. You know, it's like it's
something
crazy.
that makes I don't know. I'm not a religious person.
Yeah.
But it seems a bit weird to not care at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I really think that you should care about that kind of thing. You know,
right.
Because it's a big decision.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Whether you believe in that sort of thing or not, it's still a very big life-changing decision.
Right.
And it shouldn't be casually dealt with.
And
you know?
my wife hasn't had an abortion, but I feel like, and no, I don't feel like, I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
That, you know, particularly before, like when, you know, she was fully in China and everything and not like hadn't met me or whatever, she wouldn't have thought twice about having one if that had happened, right?
Yeah, if they gotten pregnant. But I mean, also, there's a huge rise in STDs and things like that in China too.
Like HIV is huge right now.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it was never a real massive issue in the past.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about sexuality, right? So
yes. So
sexuality goes beyond sex education, obviously. Sure. Sexuality is also like how what things are perceived as sexual.
Sure.
But I wanted to talk about what kind of drives the male sex drive in China. And
okay.
I feel like it's a little bit different than what maybe a Western guy would be into.
Oh, that's entirely possible. So give me an example.
Well, for one thing, a Chinese guy would never find a woman with dark skin attractive. That's not sexual, right? That's the opposite.
That's correct. Yeah, no, they want the lightest, palest. You know, like, you know that actress who's in trouble for scamming or tax or
Bing.
I don't find her attractive at all.
Neither do I.
Me,
but
I
she's
think
a beauty in China.
She looks sick. She looks like an alien.
Right.
You know, she doesn't look human to me. I don't know.
There's also a thing in China, like the more plastic surgery, the better. Like a lot of men I know don't care if women have had plastic surgery, and I find it very unattractive.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to mock other people's taste, because you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But if you ask me, the very typical China beauty is kind of like a very pale, like sickly pale,
like translucent,
emaciated looking, you know, egghead looking thing. You know what I mean?
Yes. Large breasts, definitely a thing. Very thin, very thin. And typically tall, like short women are not considered attractive.
And very long legs, which is great. Like, I can agree with a lot of those.
I'm mostly, you know, in agreement with most of those things, right?
Who would you say is your favorite actress or celebrity in China that you think is attractive?
Because I think is hot.
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but if you've seen Under the Hawthorn Tree.
No, why would I see that?
No, it's
What's
really,
wrong with you?
I'm talking to the audience. Okay. It was popular in the West as well, and it's a Chinese movie they might know. The character, or the girl in that, she's in a bunch of stuff now, including advertisements. So I just don't know her name. I'll look it up and put it on the screen. Okay. Or you will, because you're probably gonna edit this.
That's true. For me, I gotta say, since you gave yours, for me, I gotta say, I'm a bit more base. Okay. I'd go for like Angela Baby. I think she's pretty good looking. Yeah, she's my taste.
Hot. She's not even. She's white, dude.
Well, she's half.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there we go. Right. She's, you know.
No, she's hot. She's definitely hot. She's had plastic surgery though.
Yeah, I know she has, and she's, you know, she's past her her prime. Let's put it that way. Right. Just like Nicolas Cage.
He's never had a prime. That guy. Anyway, how did he creep up into this fucking video?
I don't know, the bees maybe.
Remember that coffee shop we used to go to and he was on the roof?
Yeah, it was all over the roof. Anyway, yeah, sorry, please continue.
So, the way sexuality is perceived is different though. Like a man, like me and you are having a lad's talk, right? And that happens all the time in China. It's very, very normal. But sex in the media is something that's very much censored, right? And that's kind of weird because China and Asian countries in general are pretty hyper-sexualized. Oh, yeah. You look at Japan, look at Korea, right? Yeah. China's no different. Men consume porn just as much as anywhere else, right? Yes. But it's banned, it's illegal, and you're not allowed to show anything kind of immoral on TV and things, in magazines, things like that, which I find funny.
How they cropped that show because they were showing too much cleavage or whatever.
Right.
You know, things like that.
So you would think, right, Winston,
it's vulgar,
that Chinese people are prudes because of this, right?
No.
But that's a government thing. My wife's parents went to like some like sex museum, and like when they have a photo.
Yeah.
And they were in Europe, and there was like a naked man like performer or something. It was kind of messed up. It's like in public, you know, Europeans weirdos.
Yeah,
anyway.
sure.
That he was like in public and he had like a little sleeve on his dick, but his balls are hanging out or something, and they like hit Vivi's parents are like arms around him taking a photo together.
That's weird. Yeah.
Like my parents would never do that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Not.
So like,
of course,
very strange because they're not prudes.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, how would you explain the attitude?
Okay, well, like it's a weird situation because I've always avoided this topic for the precise reason of not wanting to air China's dirty laundry.
Sure.
Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Because they put so much time and effort into putting forward this kind of pure, ethical sort of, I don't know how to say, this image to the rest of the world,
right.
you know? And that's why in media, like, you don't see anything dodgy, you know? And
right.
pornography is completely banned and all that kind of thing, and that you're not allowed to be immoral and all that kind of thing. Yet, compared to South Africa and America and any other place I've ever been in my life, sex is way more out there here.
Right.
And I'm saying, like, it's part of business deals. People go to brothels and to KTVs.
Right.
I have been offered that. I don't accept that. I don't do that kind of stuff. It's not
illicit sex, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's kind of accepted that if your husband is going to go, well, it's very accepted. Your husband's going to go to KTV with his work colleagues, you know.
Right.
He's basically going to a brothel. He's going to go seal a deal.
Right.
And he's going to have, you know, he's going to mess around.
It's a form of like trust bonding.
Yeah.
Like if you can do that with a potential client, then that's kind of like you trust each other or whatever.
That's right. And I mean, the thing is, prostitution is massive.
Oh, it's huge.
You've seen in our videos,
right,
when we stayed in that hotel in the middle of nowhere, all the prostitute cards that go under the doors,
it's
you know.
everywhere.
You get propositioned by prostitutes. I've got those flyers. Remember, I picked up those flyers, you know, just on the street, you know. I got handed, I was sitting having beers with these guys that I just met.
Okay.
And just as a joke, because of course I know the score. I've been in China for a long, long time.
Right.
So I'm sitting there while we're at the table. This was in a kind of a dodgy area of Shenzhen, though, right? So it's a big city. This woman who's tarted up and dressed up in makeup, but she's obviously, you know,
working the
either a prostitute or she just, you know, she's just an advertising tool for prostitution.
Right.
Came up and handed me these flyers.
Right.
And these flyers are incredibly explicit about all the services that I'll receive if I go to their establishment.
Like what?
You know
like,
what I mean?
Is it code names? Sometimes they use code names.
Ah, well,
like
no,
pumpkin job and.
It's pretty blatant,
okay,
you know. It's
just
like it's got the colloquial things for, you know, like blowjob or this kind of, you know, like dodgy massage this or, you know, full service, you know, that kind of nonsense, you know, the kind of stuff that I'm sure there's a bunch of people drooling at the moment thinking about, like, oh man, you know, I really got to get there or something.
Oh,
but
boy.
for me, it's just a turn off. I'm just like, you know what, I'm married. I would never think about doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's
you know?
not, it doesn't need to go. It goes out saying, like, it's weird. I think if you were born into a society like China, you would find that normal and probably be turned on by it. But for us, when you to pay for sex with somebody that you don't know is not a turn on.
No, but let me finish that, because I'm sitting there with this guy that I've just met, okay? Yeah. And these flyers get handed to me. And I'm just to take the piss, because, you know, I was kind of recording. I've actually got it on camera, so I asked him, like, what's this, you know? What are these? And he's like, oh, that's for you know, like, for girls. He's like, you foreigners, you've got big dicks, you know? You foreigners got good stamina. You should go have some fun, you know? It's like, after we drink, you should go there, you know, that kind of thing. And it's just totally like a stranger that I've just met for like 5 minutes. Right. Is telling me how I should go screw a prostitute. It's that open.
It's that open.
It's everywhere, and you know, that's the thing. It's, you watch TV and they're cropping it out because they're showing cleavage or something, but in real life in China, if you go to any sort of like vibey nightlife area where you're sitting having barbecue downtown in a city, obviously not in like the heart of Beijing or the heart of Shanghai or whatever, I'm talking about a little bit out the center. Sure. You know, you're gonna start getting propositioned by prostitutes because it's a big industry in China. It's massive. In fact, I say a lot of China's economic growth is due to prostitution.
Agreed.
And let me explain that, okay? because this is something I've just figured out, and I could be wrong, but when China first opened up with Deng Xiaoping, you know, down in Shenzhen was the first city to open up, right? They opened the borders and allowed free trade with Hong Kong, right? That was the thing, and the rest of the world through Hong Kong, basically. Right. There was this phenomenon that happened almost overnight. China was still very poor at that time.
Of course.
So if you were a Hong Kong man, like a bus driver or a truck driver, whatever, you're earning, let's say, 8,000 Hong Kong dollars a month.
Right.
That made you rich in mainland China. Okay. And I'm speaking from experience. It's anecdotal, but I know a lot of people, Hong Kong people, because, you know, got friends there. I was married to a Hong Kong woman, you know. Right. And a lot of their fathers were these kind of scumbags who would go over the border and have a second wife. It's called an R9.
I was just going to say, I had clients that were not married but were mistresses to Hong Kong men in mainland China.
Exactly. And so what would happen is these Hong Kong guys, even the poor guys, of course the rich guys too, and the factory owners, all that, they would come over the border, they would have like this mistress, and they'd buy an apartment for them, okay? They would give them huge amounts of money every month to spend, you know, the usual kind of thing. They'd have kids with them, right? You know, and I know a lot of these second wives, like you said, I've met them, and I've met the guys who've got them. Of course, that phenomenon's died down now that China's a lot more rich, and you know,
it still happens.
Yeah, of course it still happens, but that's the thing is, all this money was being poured in basically to second wives and also to prostitution because...
Sure. Watch out, you got guys in bikes trying to pass.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Thanks. Yeah, we've got to go over this bridge, I guess.
Okay. Oops. Why do I always do that?
I don't know.
Okay, good.
And of course, all the brothels opened, all the dodgy massage parlors and stuff. They opened up in Shenzhen, just over the border, and so the guys would come over to mess around and go to the spas and go. You still got them in Shenzhen. You still got a lot of them. Of course,
all over the place.
There's been huge crackdowns and like
still
the very open out there, open brothels and stuff have shut down. But like
they're
when
all
I first,
there, though.
Yeah, they're still there. I mean, but it's not that in your face anymore. Like when I first got to Shenzhen, I was living in a red light village.
Shenzhen looked like a red light village back then.
Yeah. So I really want to say that a huge amount of the massive amount of money that was injected into the local economy in China and Shenzhen, you know, it was due to brothels and prostitution and second wives and stuff. But, you know, feel free to correct me, anyone out there, if you think I'm being a bit ridiculous about that.
No, I mean, the flip side of this is that it sounds like Chinese people are DTF, like they're just going to go out and bang, right? But a woman cannot do that, right? That is a prostitute. That's a job. That is not like an average woman.
No, of course.
Normal women are expected to be pure until marriage. And a man that has money in particular does not want a woman that is not of that status, right?
Correct, but he can still mess around
He
with
can mess around, but it's a very
okay.
misogynistic culture for sure. But that's like sexuality in general. It's one of those things that the government tries to make. It says, they say porn is bad, prostitution is bad, sex is bad, but in reality, you know, it's very much there in your face.
Yeah, I told that story about when that famous Japanese porn star came to Tencent.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah,
and there was like this massive line of people waiting to meet her.
You know.
Yeah, it's get her autograph or see her.
AOA
and it's
whatever.
like, yeah, that one. And it was just so ridiculous because, you know, since porn's banned, how do they know her?
Right.
Why is she so popular?
Of course people watch porn.
What else do you want to add to this?
I wanted to say that China has a very interesting attitude towards sex. And I think as a man, it is very strange to go over there. You know, a monogamous male coming from a Western country to go over there and see how casual it is. I'm not even joking. Like, all my Chinese friends, and my wife kept saying, like, oh, you just have bad Chinese friends. And that's bullshit, because all of them, I'm not joking, when it came to drinking, we'd all go to the brothel, and I would stand there and sit on my bike or whatever, right, and smoke cigarettes and wait until they finished, because I just wasn't in it. And they got to know that after a while. They're my friends, so it was okay. Yeah,
look, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Right,
okay?
it is what it is.
It is what it is. And people do it, and all of my Chinese friends as well, they all mess around. They've all got multiple girlfriends. You know, it's just the way they are. And that's also why Chinese women are incredibly jealous, and they will always be nervous and clingy. Whenever you go out with your friends drinking, they'll be checking up on you, they'll be sending you messages, they'll be doing that kind of thing, because they kind of expect that you're going to mess around. And that's so soul destroying. if you're someone like myself who's never cheated on anyone, and they're expecting you to cheat, you know.
Right. It's kind of sucky.
Yeah, so that's just the way it is. Anything you'd like to add before we sign off?
Whether you like to visit the you know, the brothels and whatnot, or you like to be a normal person and stick with your soulmate for life, or you're single and you don't do that, or you watch porn, I don't really care. Doesn't really matter. But I do want you to go downstairs and at the comment for today, tell me about your, like, especially for people that have traveled, what is some strange attitudes towards sex that you've seen? Because like when I went to Thailand, it was very strange. I couldn't believe how out there it was, right?
Yeah.
Whereas China, it's got a weird anomaly status. In America, it's quite muted, except in Hollywood. So tell me like what you've seen in different countries as well. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah, and whether or not you are the kind of guy who has a second wife or not, I would like to tell you that, you know, personally, I think it's too much hassle. I don't think it's worth the time and the effort and the heartbreak.
It's a status thing, though.
Yeah, it is a status thing. So, you know, do whatever the hell it is you want to do, but just be careful that you don't mess people around too much. I think that's important. And stay awesome, you know?
It's cold. Don't forget, guys, every single Monday at 1 p.m. EST, you can see an ADVChina video right here. Click here to watch another one. Top right, you can actually watch a Loudy 6 video, which comes out every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. EST. And right below that, click on another Serpent ZA video, which you can watch at 1 p.m. EST every Friday. Thanks.